Well, history repeats itself. In round 1, we can see Joyce came in with a new strategy in mind. Sacrifice offense for defense and take Zhang into the deeper waters like he said he would. In this fight, Joyce's main concern was to nullify Zhang's left cross, which he did by moving to his left and sticking his right hand to his cheek at all times. Basically, Joyce fought like a one-armed fighter with his jab. Even though Joyce isn't landing anything besides light body shots at this point, Zhang isn't landing anything either, which I count as a heavy win for Joyce. Zhang is basically a 5 or 6 round fighter, and Joyce effectively survived the first of these 6 rounds with no damage at all. In round 2, we see more of Joyce's game plan for the fight. He leans back, almost in a Philly shell, and loads up his right hand for a counter punch. The problem with this is that he can only counter with a cross in the Philly shell stance, but his cross is busy protecting his face. Despite trying the cross counter a few times, Zhang's faster hands reach Joyce's exposed face before his cross can land. Round 3 is a very early conclusion to this bout. Joyce comes out fast. He's throwing a lot of punches but not a lot are landing. And here's where I think the issue with Joyce is. He's showing Zhang a lot. His Philly shell, his countering tendencies, his constant punching, but he's not hurting Zhang much. In effect, he's letting Zhang see all of his openings in return for no gain, especially the vulnerability in Joyce's Philly shell defense and his inability to predict how many punches Zhang will throw before he stops attacking. In the later part of round 3, Zhang takes advantage of this vulnerability. Joyce anticipates a single punch when Zhang throws a cross. He moves to throw a right hand counter, leaving the left side of his face wide open. However, Zhang sneaks a right hook right after his cross, which drops Joyce instantly. Overall, if you look at the first and second fights together, they make for a really interesting pair of fights. In the first fight, Joyce basically just charged at Zhang and got blasted over and over by his left cross. The second fight, Joyce took the exact opposite approach, going full Mayweather mode with the Philly shell and moving to his left and totally nullifying Zhang's left cross. But this time he got taken out by Zhang's right hook. I can see Joyce put a lot of thought into how to beat Zhang, and I think he actually put up a great fight for basically the whole fight, up until he got clipped with the right hook in the third round. In fact, Joyce's best round was the third round, where he used his usual aggressive style, except he shifted to the left instead of the right. This time around in the rematch, I think Joyce relied too much on his Philly shell while not studying its weaknesses enough, especially when he was fighting a southpaw with a right hook like Zhang. This fight also revealed more of Zhang's weaknesses. Zhang was clearly uncomfortable circling to his left away from his dominant hand, and in this fight, he landed punches far less often than usual. Despite Joyce not winning the fight, this detail may be a key to defeating Zhilei Zhang in the future. Also, I think the referee gave Joyce a short count. Joyce got up by the end of it and his body language looked perfectly fine to me. I mean, am I wrong? Right now, Zhilei Zhang just got moved up to number 3 in the global heavyweight rankings, and he also called out Tyson Fury. But since this is Tyson Fury we're talking about, I doubt that fight will happen. Overall, great fight for the 3 rounds it lasted. I think the ref should have let Joyce fight on, but that's just the way things go sometimes.